Howdy, folks. Rebecca Jolly here. I am the Jolly Alchemist. And I was thinking, you might have asked, how is it that a fat old white lady could possibly be cool enough to call herself an alchemist? And I think I'll make a video about that very subject and post it on my YouTube channel so that you can see for yourself and tell me whether or not you agree that this freak is capable of being a genius. Until then, let us progress to the neutrino forecast for the 15th of July, Tuesday, 2025. So, we are still in the cross of the Maya in the third line for 61 and 62. And so now we've moved into the line that is experimental and making mistakes and learning from that. By the way, the third line is also the line where we make our money. So you can look at your chart and see anywhere where you have third lines, those are your money lines. So explore those. And if you have questions about that, it's cool. Just post it. For the moment, have time to answer questions, so you can take advantage of that. So, 62.3 is discovery, to discover valuable information and innovative applications in detail work. Again, we are at 62, which is about the naming of things and looking at detail work. So that's something that really helps people who are interested in human design, because there are so many details, overwhelming details. And that's part of the reason why I'm here, to try to help make some of that mess a little bit easier to understand. 61.3, cooperation, to pave the way for truth through cooperation. Our moon starts off in 22, right at the beginning, 22.1, which has this and that on it. So this is the upper end of that spectrum. Subordination, the ability to gracefully accept a subordinate role. We will also be moving through 36 and 25 with the moon. 36 is crisis and compassion, and 25 is innocence, which we already have 2 activations of, so you're not really going to feel much of a difference there. Let's see, all of our people energies are shifting today, but we have no shift, of course, in the nodes, since the nodes just shifted and they hold for quite a while. And also the global energies are the same. But there is one note I wanted to make real quick, and that is that you will never see the sun and the earth in retrograde, because they can't go into retrograde. We are the center of the calculation, and retrograde only happens when a planet moves, appears to be going backwards in reference to us. So the us that it's in reference to can't really go backwards. So you will find that every single day we have a new mission. We have a new line of a gate to consider and to examine in our daily experimentations. And that's kind of what human design is about. You look at your chart and find out and start to learn in more and more detail who it is that you're supposed to be, what's going on with you as an internal mechanism. But then you always have to take into account, and what is the universe bringing to me? What is the neutrino field doing to my body, and what effects is it making me feel? So this is a huge experiment for us to say, okay, so we're in the gate of, or looking for our daily mission in the gates of detail, attention to detail, and 61 is mysteries of the universe, learning something very much new. This one in particular is cooperative truth finding. And then we're meant to say, okay, how do I see this happening in my day? Which is why I keep asking for comments. No pressure, no shame, no blame. But if you hear something from me about, say, oh, today's about discovering valuable information, innovative applications through cooperation, and you happen to have a cooperation on today that does result in an innovative sort of something happening through detail work, post a comment and say, you know what? I actually fucking saw that happening today. For me, I'm always a few days ahead of the transits. So I live nowadays, I started the year just being on the day I would do the transits and look at that myself. But now I'm in this kind of weird place where I'm doing transits ahead of time, and then it puts me in a world where I'm living a few days ahead of you guys so that the editing can get done for these videos to be posted on time so that you can have them in time for your day. But it sometimes throws me off on my own explorations of trying to recognize, okay, what's happening where for me and what am I seeing going on. Plus, I spend a lot of time alone because there's not a whole lot of people who can handle the kind of power that I bring, I find, especially in the place where I live. I live in Portland, Oregon. For those of you who didn't know, that's the Pacific Northwest. And I find that a lot of people here have a very restrained kind of energy. And my energy is very like, let's go, it's sort of rah, rah. So people are always like, oh, a little scared of that. So that's all right. I spend time alone and I'm learning a lot of good things while I'm doing this. But it also means that I have a lot of capacity for engaging with other people that is not at this moment being accessed. But don't worry, I'm working on fixing that and it will be changing. So you have a sweet spot of opportunity if you want to talk with somebody who's something of an expert on the details of human design. So I invite you, start to let me know, what the heck is all this going on? How in the world can you know what's happening today, what's happening tomorrow? Just ask and I'll start to give answers. So, our people energies. We already did subordination and 7-3 with a shadow on it. 7-3 is the anarchist. This is the classic line of anarchy in human design. So that means there's going to be some energy of throwing shit out the back door. The rejection of any institutionalized order. And the shadow on that is the pessimist who challenges everything and out of rejection wants to destroy any kind of institutionalized order regardless of consequences. I tend to this myself, actually, but what can you say? I'm the kind of person that has faith in the little people, and maybe it's misplaced, but we'll see. 35-1 in our Venus is having this and that also, but in this case, it's the this instead of the that. It's the up instead of the down, the light instead of the shadow. And that 35-1 is humility, the humility to accept the rejection of progress. Now, this is kind of interesting. The arrow on that says the ability to accept rejection as a part of the process that leads to progress. I thought that was interesting because it's about progress versus the rejection itself. So the humble person can accept the rejection and understand that, hey, it's a cycle, we're growing, it's all going to be okay in the end. My name is humility, so I've spent a lifetime exploring this concept, and I find that to be a very interesting light to have on this very first one. What happens is, the very first line of any gate will give you some sort of insight into the nature of that gate. And I guess that's what I'm saying I've noticed here, is that the first line of the 35th gate, the 35th gate is the gate of experience. So that's up here. Let's see, the emotional center, that's up here, right here, in the channel of the Jack of all trades. So this is very much, this is our... what's the word? It's not the logical side. It's the abstract. Thank you. Abstract side. The abstract side where we're all about experiences, going through an experience and learning something afterwards. So we're accepting what's going to happen to us in the experience and even accepting the rejection of progress and experience. So, well, there's something to be gotten there. Anyway, so 64-6 is in our Mars. That's victory, the gift of enjoying the confusion. How nice. There's something good coming out of that confusing gate. That's good. So then we come down to the song of the day where we say, okay, here's the song. How is it relevant? Because whenever I get this feeling of like, this is the song for today, then I have to engage my mind and say, okay, well, my intuition, because I have a very strong intuitive sense, 3 activations of intuition coming here out of the spleen. So that is the most strong definition in my chart, besides my sun and earth, which is this explanation capacity that I have. My intuition tells me which song is the right song for the day. And then my brain has to come in and say, okay, why is this the song for the day? And when I look at this, we have Shadow Stabbing, again by Cake. Interesting. 2 songs by Cake. I mean, I like Cake, but I don't listen to it that much. Shadow Stabbing is definitely about say it all, say it all. So we have an emphasis on the 62nd gate. We have an emphasis on subordination because it's talking about the man stuck outside the walls. And he's definitely an anarchist, this man outside the walls, who is rejecting what's going on inside the walls. And I think he's even enjoying the confusion of what's going on. You know, they're saying the sharp eyes, whatever he's got, that says it all. So it's an interesting sort of thing. Let me know if you find any coincidences, any points of reference between that song and what you feel or experience today. Otherwise, yeah, so much to explain. All good things and all good time. Until then, enjoy the confusion, and I will see you again tomorrow. Take care.